Vatmil, give Saurukin Mandishil, Sisson Sahwi, who say it, by it Yashuma, Baharik Aldaura May, Lila Kimne, and Mosay, in Diamant, no still Mediterranean.
Eżis telespettaturi għal-ġimgħa nsellmilkom. Il-programm tal-lum u wieħed speċjali għaliex permezz tiegħu ser nidħlu fil-kampus li l-Queen Mary University of London għandha Għawdex. Din il-preżenza issa tinsab fil-5 sena tagħha. Il-programm tal-lum ser jirrakkonta din l-istorja, storja ta' suċċess minn kull fejn tħares lejha. Dan stajna nwettquh bil-kollaborazzjoni sħiħa tal-Università, l-allima u l-istudenti li nsibu jgħixu, jaħdmu u jistudjaw f'Għawdex. Tajjeb qabel xejn nispjegaw li dik li ħafna minna jafuha bħala l-Iskola Medika ta' Barts, effettivament il-kampus tal-Università Queen Mary University of London. Kif jgħidilna l-professur Anthony Warrens, id-dekan għall-edukazzjoni fih dan l-istess università, Queen Mary hi rinomata madwar id-dinja kollha. L-ewwel studenti ġew Għawdex f'Settembru tal-2017. Fl-ewwel sentejn l-Università għamlet użu minn parti mill-Istitut Sir Michelangelo Refolo, magħruf aħjar bħala is-Sixth Form. Sa dan it-tant kien qiegħed jinbena il-kampus il-ġdid bis-swit l-Isptar Ġenerali ta' Għawdex. Il-professur Warrens jistqar li sa mill-bidunet inħolqot sinerġija bejn l-awtoritajiet u l-komunità lokali ma' tmexxija tal-iskola u anki l-istess studenti.
We are the oldest medical school in England, and we're very proud of the fact that we have a fantastic history. We do very well in all league tables, and we offer an extremely high quality medical education. So we are interested in, as it were, spreading the word of the quality of our education throughout the world, and we were looking at a number of venues. Then we had some very interesting conversations with the government of Malta, who said they were interested in developing Gozo, and would we be interested in coming and working with them? And that's where it all started. And I found the people in Malta generally, but in Gozo in particular, tremendously welcoming. They see it as an opportunity to help the community here. For the first 3 years, we were located within the Refolo school, and they made us so welcome. They were such nice, warm people that we got off to a great start there. Meanwhile, our building here on the site of Gozo General Hospital was being constructed. And I have to say the builders have done us proud. We have a first-class building here that's a fantastic environment for medical education and indeed for education generally. So that's the story of how we got here today.
Sena wara l-oħra l-istudenti barranin bdew jiżdiedu fin-numru. Infatti l-ewwel grupp issa jinsab fl-aħħar sena tiegħu. Għall-professura Catherine Molyneux Għawdex kien esperjenza ġdida, mhux biss għall-istudenti iżda saħansitra għall-istess allima u staff li bosta minnhom huma professjonisti barranin. Interessanti l-fatt li dan il-kampus u wieħed ta' bilħaq multikulturali.
Currently, we have 245 students. They come from all over the world. We were very surprised this morning when we checked the statistics and we realised that we actually have students who come from 145 different countries spread across the world. They represent 5 continents, so they represent every continent apart from Antarctica. So we've got 245 students, but we also have 45 members of full-time staff. I've lived here in Gozo for close to 5 years. I've been involved in the Barts Medical School project since its inception. I can still remember the first day when I moved to Gozo, being on the ferry and being very excited about having the opportunity to move to such a beautiful island with very warm people, lovely, safe environment. So we first of all welcomed our students onto the island in 2017. We were at the Refalo School in Rabat, and the school was absolutely fantastic hosts. We are still very grateful to all of their help when we started off.
Għawdex, il-Queen Mary University toffri korsijiet ta' 5 snin li waslu għal baċċellerat fil-mediċina u fil-kirurġija. Dan il-programmu maħsub li joffri lill-istudenti għarfien biżżejjed tal-mediċina, taħriġ kliniku flimkien ma' approċċ professjonali li huma meħtieġa sabiex jiggradwaw bħala tobba. Għalina kienet tassew sabiħa l-aħbar li l-Università Queen Mary ser iżżomm l-ewwel gradwazzjoni f'Għawdex stess f'Lulju li ġej.
When students are in their early years, they have a lot of lectures, a lot of tutorials. They learn about basic anatomy in the anatomy centre. But then as we progress through the course, when the students get to year 3, they start to do a lot of simulation. So we're very excited here to have a clinical skills centre. It's designed exactly the same as a hospital ward. So we have 8 patient beds with all of the facilities that you'd expect to see in a hospital ward. So our year 3 students start to work in there a lot. They examine each other, they examine simulated patients. They also have some of the latest technology, and we're very excited that we have something called a sim man. So this is a model that mimics a lot of clinical conditions, so our students can practice on a model before they start practicing on patients. Then the students start to work more in the hospital. First of all, they observe the doctors, they observe the nurses, they shadow a lot. And then eventually, as they progress through the clinical years, they start to actually learn how to do the procedures themselves. So by the time they get to their end of 5th year, they're ready to become junior doctors. And we are particularly excited this year because our very first cohort that we welcomed onto the island in 2017 are going to be graduating. So they're very nervous at the moment because they have very big final exams that are going to be in March. And then we are excited to say that we're going to be having our graduation ceremony in the Citadel, in the cathedral at the Citadel in July.
Dr. Robert Xiberras u konsulent fl-Isptar Ġenerali ta' Għawdex, kif ukoll Senior Associate Dean ta' Queen Mary Malta Campus. Iltqajna miegħu waqt sessjoni ta' taħriġ prattiku fl-isptar fejn hu kien qiegħed juri lill-istudenti mediċi sitwazzjonijiet li ser jiltaqgħu magħhom meta huma jsiru tobba. Dr. Xiberras kompla jżid ma' dak li qaltilna il-Professura Molina dwar l-importanza li l-istudenti jiffamiljarizzaw ruhom mal-ambjent tal-isptar. Għalilna wkoll kemm kien importanti l-kontribut tal-istudenti waqt l-agħar momenti tal-imxija tal-COVID-19 iktar kmieni din is-sena.
L-istudenti importanti li apparti mit-teorija jagħmlu prattika. Issa, li ġiet ħaġa li jagħmlu prattika hija mit-tielet sena il fuq. Però fl-ewwel sentej xorta jiffamiljarizzaw ruhom mal-ambjent, mal-pazjenti, kollhom placements anke ma' general practitioners, ma' tobba oħra, però imbagħad l-enfasi kbira fuq il-klinika jkun it-tielet ir-raba' l-5 sena. It-tielet sena jibdew ikunu li josservaw, jgħinu wkoll fil-xogħol tal-wards, jgħinu wkoll it-tobba. Mbagħad meta jipprogressaw meta jkunu l-aħħar sena, kważi aħna nkunu nixtiequhom ikunu li t-leminija tat-tobba tagħna biex għandi jkun iżjed effiċjenza fuq il-wards, però t-tobba tagħna jkun jista' jikkonċentraw iżjed fuq il-pazjent biex ċertu xogħol ukoll jagħmluh residenti stess. Importanti niftakru wkoll li waqt il-pandemija tal-COVID billi kellna nagħmlu ħafna affarijiet ġol isptar, ma stanix nagħmlu servizzi kollha minn ġol isptar. Allura kellna mmorru ħafna mis-servizzi bħal outpatients, bħal kemoterapija, bħal flebotomija, ġifieri biex jieħdu d-demm, kellna nagħmlu kollox fl-iskola ta' Barts. L-istudenti mbagħad billi kienu twaqfu l-lezzjonijiet, kienu nbidlu f'assistenti tagħna, ġifieri kienu jgħinu l-pazjenti jisibu l-dipartiment neċessarju, joqogħdu wkoll mal-lifts, jgħinu l-pazjentijiet li joħorġu mill-lifts, ġifieri dak kien il-kontribut tagħhom. Apparti minn hekk però, l-istudenti tagħna kienu wkoll involuti fil-vaċċinazzjoni tal-pubbliku. Jiena ċerti li ħafna minnkom li mortu fil-hubs, rajtu dawn l-istudenti jieħdu ħsieb, jgħatu l-injections, jgħatu il-pazjenti qabel u wara. Dak kien kontribut għalina, kien kontribut kbir u kien parti mis-suċċess tal-kampanja tal-injections li tajna f'Għawdex.
Il-professura Catherine Molina wkoll aċċennat għal kontribut li l-kampus ta' waqt il-COVID-19. Dan apparti l-involviment dirett tal-istudenti floti tal-vaċċin.
During the peak of the COVID pandemic, a lot of our students in the early years of the course, so our year 1 and year 2 students who spend a lot of time in the medical school building, unfortunately they were sent home and we had to work very hard to be able to provide their learning online. But this gave us an opportunity to help the local hospital. So Gozo General Hospital outpatients moved into the medical school building. So they actually used the clinical skills simulation suites as a real hospital setting. We were very pleased to be able to help the local community by providing the space at this time. The other thing that was very exciting for our students was we were invited to participate in the vaccination programme. So we had a lot of students who were working at the Aurora Centre and they're very proud to say that they've assisted in achieving a very, very high vaccination rate on the island. And they've all just been presented with a certificate by Clint Camilleri. So we're very pleased for them and they're very proud of their certificates in their portfolios.
Sabiex stajna nwasslu dan il-programm żorna l-kampus aktar minn darba. Sibna wkoll il-ħin sabiex nitkellmu ma' xi studenti dwar kif laqgħuhom Għawdex u kemm kienu kapaċi jintegraw fil-komunità tal-Gżira. Tlabnihom jagħtuna l-opinjoni tagħhom dwar il-korsijiet mediċi li għalihom qed jattendu f'Għawdex. Nisimgħu x'qalulna.
I've been here for 4 years and when I first came here it was, so new to me. I'd never been somewhere like Gozo before. I never even heard of Gozo. But coming here, I was so surprised at how quickly the Gozotans accepted us. I managed to join an orchestra and integrate properly with all the conductors and the musicians, and we all bonded. And I still play for the Gozo Youth Orchestra now. Actually, I'm their leader, so it's been very lovely.
Firstly, at the island, it was a bit different to where I came from. However, I was quickly integrated into the community with the different sports activities, whether this was basketball, football, or just going to the gym. This helped me in being welcomed by everyone, which helped with my studying, as well as I was having a lot of social activities as well as this.
It was at first very daunting to come here to study in a foreign country, but Gozo and the population of Gozo have been so supportive and very welcoming, and most importantly very patient to us in the wards. And they know that Maltese is not a language that is easy to learn, and they've been more than understanding with us and speaking English when they can. So that has been a great experience.
Bonjour, you see me Jeremy. I'm a trained medical student training to be a tabib. So my experience here in Gozo has been actually very pleasant because I've been around the local communities. I've been to St. George Square, all the other squares like in Zara, in Nadur, in Zabuj, and all the people really welcomed me, especially my friends in St. George Square, because a lot of them are actually called George, and it's really funny, and I mix with them, spend a lot of times at the bars. And also, they actually invited me to play in the St. George Square band as well, since I play the alto sax, and they've been really welcoming. Also, in terms of studying, Gozo in general is a very quiet, relaxing place. It does have its hidden treasures though, but then because of the difference between how Malta is like I guess you could say, where most of the things are, the bars, the clubs, a lot of shopping malls, and Gozo is more like the quieter place, where there's more like relaxing beaches, and it's a more calm place. It's really, really good for studying.
When I first moved here to Malta, it was actually very homey for me. It reminds me a lot of how in Brazil, which is where I'm originally from, how it was. The people are very friendly. The culture is very warming, to be honest. Just to give you an example, my neighbor is Maltese. She's around my age. And she just welcomed me on my first week. She invited me and my dog just to go for a walk. Anytime she forgets something at home, she just calls me and tells me, go in my apartment and get this, which just shows how friendly and welcoming they are and very trusting towards other individuals.
In terms of studying, Gozo is just phenomenal because it's so quiet, there aren't many distractions, and that's a real plus because it means you can really focus on your work and, you know, really learn the curriculum properly. And especially in the hospital here, the doctors are often sort of one-to-one with the students, and that means they have a lot more time for us and a lot more time to explain things slowly. And I'm really surprised at how much, you know, effort they bring into teaching.
Apparti lezzjonijiet prattiċi u teoretiċi fis-settur tal-mediċina, l-istudenti attendu wkoll sessjonijiet ta' pittura magħrufa bħala mindful art. Minkejja li m'għandhom l-ebda rilevanza għall-istudji mediċinali, l-istudenti jistqarru li l-pittura tgħinhom jirrilassaw u tnaqsilhom ħafna mill-pressjoni li dawn il-korsijiet għal-tobba jġibu magħhom.
I think as we do medicine, it's quite a stressful course and there's a lot of challenges and hard things that we have to do, and often it can lead to stress and like anxiety for some people as well. And I think it's important to have art in your life because I think in life as a person, as people, if you think of yourself as a blank canvas, then as experiences go on and stress comes, I think the life kind of draws on you. So when you have a blank canvas in front of you, you can transfer all of that drawing onto there. It kind of makes your mind a bit clearer. And with a clear mind, you have a healthy life and you can do the course very well.
Flimkien mal-kontribut lil campus tal-Queen Mary University lill-komunità tal-Gżira waqt il-COVID-19, jibqa' kommess li kull fejn ikun possibbli jgħin lill-entitajiet waqdiet lokali billi joffrilhom spazju għall-attivitajiet tagħhom. Dwar dan tkellimna ma' Justin Aġus, l-Operations Manager.
Hawnhekk Queen Mary University of London Malta Campus hawn il-Clinical Skills Area fejn dan il-post u s-setjat u jiffunzjona bħal sptar. Fil-fatt, waqt il-pandemija, din il-parti tal-Università kienet qed tintuża mill-Isptar Ġenerali ta' Għawdex. Hawn ukoll l-Anatomy Center fejn hawnhekk l-istudenti tagħna jipprattikaw l-anatomija tal-ġisem. Apparti minn hekk hawn ukoll kmamar konferenzi installati bl-aħħar apparat teknoloġiku u l-auditorium. Hawnhekk isir kemm tagħlim kif ukoll ġieli jintuża għal konferenzi u laqgħat. Apparti minn hekk, dan is-sajf kollaborajna mal-grupp Hand in Hand fejn dawn għamlu użu mill-kmamar tal-Università fejn kienu qed jagħtu tagħlim lil tfal b'awtiżmu. L-għaqda Spark 15 ukoll qed jagħmlu użu mill-Università iżda dawn qed joffru tagħlim tal-Ingliż lir-refuġjati. L-istudenti tagħna huma wkoll involuti fil-komunità lokali billi jagħmlu xogħol volontarjat faqdiet bħal SPCA, ERRC u Dreams of Horses. Għal min jixtieq jikkuntattja l-Università għal iktar informazzjoni jew għal xi proġett partikolari jista' jagħmel dan billi jibgħat email fuq malta@qmul.ac.uk.
Sa mill-ewwel mumenti tal-preżenza ta' Queen Mary University of London f'Għawdex, smajna kummenti li din l-istess istituzzjoni medika edukattiva tista' tħalli bosta benefiċċji kemm b'mod dirett fir-rigward tal-Isptar Ġenerali ta' Għawdex li jinsab fl-istess akwati kif ukoll il-komunità.
One of the things that's very important to us in Queen Mary is that we are part of the community in which we're located. And that's as true here in Gozo as it is in East London. And so as a medical school, it's all about increasing health, it's increasing engagement with the community, and as well, of course, as treating people, it's health improvement and illness prevention. So I was delighted that our students have got involved in some health promotion activities here in the island. Our students have thrown themselves into helping with the vaccination plan, which is obviously great for the community, but it's also great for them because they learn to interact with the patients of the future, and they've learned an enormous amount from it. And of course, there will be economic benefit as the number of students goes up. They're visited by their friends and parents. There will be an increasing number of people throughout the year, not just during the summer period, which hopefully will help the tourist industry, who of course are part of the community as well. So I'd like to see that the community of Gozo saw this as a major positive contribution to the life of their community.
Ir-riċerkaturi illi kull fejn ikun hemm ċentru ta' tagħlim, ċentru akademiku bħalma l-Iskola Medika ta' Barts abbinata ma' sptar, fil-każ tagħna l-Isptar Ġenerali ta' Għawdex, il-kwalità tas-servizzi offruti minn dak l-isptar titjib. Dan għal diversi fatturi, imma fosthom illi it-tobba li jkunu jaħdmu f'dak l-isptar iridu bil-fors iżommu ruhom aġġornati mal-aħħar żviluppi fix-xjenza tagħhom. Fil-fatt, fl-Isptar Ġenerali ta' Għawdex, il-maġġoranza kbira tat-tobba u professjonisti huma involuti fit-tagħlim, mhux biss fil-każ tal-Iskola Medika ta' Barts, imma anke ta' studenti ta' professjonijiet oħrajn, kif ukoll anke ta' tobba żgħar li jażlu lill-Isptar ta' Għawdex li jiġu jaħdmu hawnhekk bħala parti mill-programm akkademiku tagħhom. Dan jissarraf benefiċċju mhux biss għall-istudent, imma anke benefiċċju fil-kura li tingħata minn dak it-tabib aġġornat lill-pazjent. Il-fatt li hawn ċentru akkademiku ta' tagħlim marbut mal-isptar issarraf benefiċċju ieħor għall-komunità Awċija. Dan għaliex nafu illi fejn fil-passat kien pjuttost diffiċli biex nattiraw speċjalisti fl-oqsma varji tal-mediċina biex jaħdmu l-Isptar ta' Għawdex u jibqgħu jaħdmu l-Isptar ta' Għawdex. Ħafna drabi konna nsibu li jiġu jaħdmu ftit hawnhekk, jibdew jibżgħu li ħajjitilfu l-skills tagħhom u wara ftit jitilqu. Illum qed naraw li x-xejra nbidlet u dan grazzi wkoll għal fatt li hawn l-Iskola Medika ta' Queen Mary propju fuq dan il-kampus.
Meta wieħed iqis dak kollu li smajna f'malar jasal għal konklużjoni li t-twaqqif ta' dan il-kampus diġà rriżulta fi storja ta' suċċess. Integra b'mod tajjeb ħafna fis-soċjetà Awċija u qiegħed joffri opportunitajiet għal tkabbir billi ħajjar investiment fuq il-Gżira. Jidher li l-futur jibqa' wieħed eċitanti għaliex l-aspirazzjonijiet tal-Università mhumiex żgħar. Dwar x'futur qiegħed jara għal Queen Mary f'Għawdex, il-Professur Anthony Warrens għalilna hekk.
We'd like to broaden the educational offering here within Queen Mary Malta campus, and I'm in discussion with a number of my colleagues in different faculties and different departments back in Queen Mary, asking what they would like to bring to our campus here. And much of this can be done in collaboration, for example, with existing institutions. My colleague, Professor Bajendra Patel, has established a joint master's degree in surgical skills with the University of Malta. And that is, hopefully, will be the first of a number of different programmes that will allow us to broaden the educational offering. But it's not just about educational offering for students. We established ourselves way back at the end of the 19th century as an educational environment for the community. And if there are educational activities that we can contribute to the people of Gozo, it's right up our street. And we've already had a number of symposia that have been open to the public here in our fantastic new building. Love to do more of that. So I think the opportunities for interacting more with the community of Gozo are really very great.
Armonija bl-isbaħ ġmil, kif sawru jien m'għandix jien. Sisin saqwi u sejjer, bajjit jax ma għurien. Baħarik ħal dawra mejt, lilek jien dejjem ossej. Inti djamant, nofs il-Mediterran.